are you embarrassed to admit you take a nap? I mean, if somebody calls you on the phone and they wake you up, do you admit that you were snoozing? Or do you try to resist taking a nap when you can and then push on when you're tired? Well, research shows that taking an early afternoon power nap actually is a very healthy thing to do as long as you're not driving.
You know, a lot of people who were famous people took naps, and we know it in our history. The celebrities like Einstein and Da Vinci and JFK and
Dr. Lynn Saputo.
Well, I do take a nap, but there's a difference. I mean, even Tesla and Churchill took naps in the afternoon. And what it does is it kind of picks you up. And there's now data from a Greek study that was done that shows that a 30-minute nap 3 times a week lowers the risk of death if you have a heart attack by about 37%. So,
and all this time I thought that it meant that you were lazy.
Yeah, right. You feel guilty.
Yeah,
you're sloughing off on the job.
So now with this new information, you can take a guilt-free nap.
Well, there's some companies that actually support this. Google does. They have actually nap time that they allow people to sleep for 30, 40 minutes. And some of the other companies do too. Time Warner does and Newsweek does. So they're realizing that you get more out of your workers if you have them sharp.
Well, yeah.
Sense,
I mean, obviously, if you're tired, think about it too. Like right after lunch, a lot of people are tired after lunch. Have you ever tried to to give a talk to an audience?
They're all asleep
right after lunch.
That's
Everybody's
right.
going to sleep.
That's right.
Or trying to stay awake yourself if you're at a lecture.
That's right.
You're sleepy.
Well, it's normal physiology. We have changes that occur biochemically that change, and they make us sleepy. I know there have been times after lunch when I'm just kind of trying to keep awake, and my poor patient is wondering, are you interested in me? It's like, no, I'm just tired. They don't understand.
Yeah. Well, it really does increase your productivity and your clarity and your, obviously, your alertness and everything else. So even if you just take a 10-minute nap or anything less than 45 minutes, because then it might interfere with your sleep at night.
Right. So if you sleep for 30 minutes, it increases your memory. It makes you a lot more healthy physically. If you take a 20-minute nap, you're looking at having more feeling revitalized. And if you have a 10-minute nap, they say that it increases your mood, makes you feel better, and you have less in the way of energy slumps.
But here's the biggie. It can reduce your risk of dying from a heart attack by 37%.
Yeah, that's a big deal. So naps do some other interesting things. They slow down aging. They increase your sex drive. You have better physical abilities if you have a short nap. I know that after a hard day's work, I come home and I'm really, I put a lot into it because there's a lot of listening and caring that goes on, and it takes something out of me. And to take a little nap or a bigger one really gets me going, so I can really do a lot more in the evenings.
Well, it's a lot healthier to take a nap than it is to be drinking caffeine and getting a sugar fix and all that to boost your energy, because really that's only temporary, and a lot of times that leads to not sleeping well at night, and then it's a vicious circle.
Oh, and lots of problems too. Look at the accidents if you don't sleep well. I mean, about 20% of people fall asleep at the wheel probably every year or two. It's not like a small thing. When I was going through my training as a medical resident, a lot of the time we were on for 36 hours and off for 12 for weeks to months at a time. And I can tell you, a little power nap of 3 minutes standing up would do a lot to make me much more alert. It's a wrong thing to do. I can remember one time when I was working at the VA hospital in the emergency room and covering it, and I went to bed at 5 in the afternoon.
To take a nap.
Just a little power nap. And I woke up Monday morning, which was like, what?
36 hours later.
Slept all
We're not recommending that long of a nap.
No, but if you're that tired, I mean, it really does a lot for you. It was like a miracle. God must have been saying, this kid's really tired, he needs his sleep. And nobody came in the emergency room that needed my help for 36 hours.
Well, it is a nurturing and productive habit, so I'm going to take actually, I'll take it a little later.
All right, so there's nothing wrong with taking a nap. Think about getting your 8 hours of sleep. If you don't, all kinds of things go wrong that put you at risk for things like hypertension and cancer and diabetes and osteoporosis, because it messes up your hormones. So get your sleep, and if you can and you're working for a company that appreciates how important sleep is,